Hey guys, Indy here. Just a quick note before we start the video. If the creator of these levels, and the movies, Ralphus, is watching this, which there is a possibility that he is, I just want to say that, well, most of my reviews aren't negative at all. I don't mean anything negative that I say. I love your levels. I look forward to them all the time, and I'm very much looking forward to you creating more. Not even just your Mario Goes to Cinema, any of your levels. I really like them all. This video was just showing how much I care about them, pretty much. And while I will admit, a little spoiler, my most negative review is a 6 out of 10, so I really don't think that low of any of them. I just want you to know that I'm not trying to discourage you, and some of your movies I think are astounding how you could possibly make that in Mario Maker. So just want you to know that. And anyone else who's confused about how I feel, this is just a message for you guys. But anyway, let's get on with the video. Hey guys, welcome back to I have absolutely no idea what I want to make videos on anymore, but I'm just rolling with it. Now, I was supposed to upload some Mario Maker playing some Mario Maker 2, playing some of you guys' levels, whatever. That never happened, and it probably never will happen. Sorry to disappoint any of you guys listening to this, but yeah, I don't really know what my channel is anymore. Could I ever do those? Maybe. Will I never ever upload another video again? Maybe. Will this video that you're listening to right now never ever be uploaded? Maybe. I don't know. But today, we are going to talk about movies, but not just any movies. Mario Maker 2 movies. In Mario Maker, there is a creator who makes level series called Mario Goes to the Cinema. These movies are made by Ralphus Studios, and some of them are absolutely amazing. I highly advise you check them out because they are some of the most creative levels I have ever seen in this game. Highly advise you go check out all of them. But I wanted to go through each of them and say my opinions on them and go them from worst to best and rank them and see which ones are the best. Now, some of them are in a series, like the Goombas in Love series. There's 3 of them, so I'm going to rank them all together. I'm going to give them each individual ratings. All the movies are rated out of 10. I'm going to give them each individual ratings, but, I'm going to group them all in the same, so I don't go over Goombas in Love 2 and then Goombas in Love 1 or whatever. I don't know what order. Same goes for other series in these videos, and afterwards I'll tell you my opinions on the series and where I think you should go in the future. But I love all of these, so I'm just going to show you. Anyway, let's get in to the list, starting with what I think is the worst one. Titanic. Yes, this movie, from the Ralphus Studios, one of the more recent movies, I don't know. Judging by some of the better ones, this is not the best movie. It has some good elements. The music is pretty good. Although a little out of tune, I would say. And some of the character acting is pretty good, I can tell. There's some pretty good actors. But it's just not as good as some of the other ones. It's pretty bland. Not much happens. I mean, there's 2 people on a boat, yeah, and they're standing there for 20 seconds. Then it cuts to an iceberg, and the boat hits the iceberg. and then one of the people dies. So there's not much to it. I assume the two are in a relationship, and I can see the grief factor in it. Sure, it has a lot going for it. I mean, the ending is certainly very entertaining, and he falls off the boat and dies. And it is really sad, I will admit. So some of the movie is saved from giving it a worse rating. Some of it is saved by the ending, but the majority of the movie is pretty bland and unoriginal. I'm gonna have to go with, because of the ending boosted it up a little bit, so I think I'm gonna have to go with a 6 out of 10 for this one. Still a very enjoyable time. I think you should go check it out, but I recommend practically all the other movies on here way more than this one. At the spot of number 9, we have Nightmares. This one, I'm a little torn about. We'll start with the good things. It has some amazing visuals, some top-notch animations. I mean, the cinematography in this movie is amazing. When the Koopa turns from being alive to being dead and then burning, those are all the same actor, and they have to change and get bigger and turn into the CGI, the storytelling, the animation is some top notch, so that's why it's over Titanic, but there's no story. I mean, the animation is very, very well made, and it does give a lot to think about, but the story is so confusing, you can't tell any plot. It's just some creepy images and a Koopa that I can't really get invested in because he doesn't have enough screen time. It's hard to tell if he's supposed to be the main character or the evil faces are, and the evil faces don't really have much explanation. So I can't really give this one that higher of a review. Now, I will say the cinematography is stellar. And we're going to see some amazing cinematography later as well, but I want to tell you that I still really, really appreciate the cinematography in this movie. Anyway, for the story and the lack of characters or character development, I'm going to have to give this one only a 6.5 out of 10. At spot number 8, we have Goombas in Love. Now, here is a trilogy that I can get behind. Goombas in Love, Goombas in Love 2, and Goombas in Love 3. All amazing movies, and all of them are ranked individually. Now, I'm going to go by 1, 2, and then 3, but that is not necessarily the order of how I most like them, or how I least like them. We're going to start with Goombas in Love. Now, Goombas in Love 1 is a very, very nice and fresh retelling of a classic story, as it is used with Goomba actors. So it is very well told. A girl gets captured by Boom Boom, and the guy has to go and save her. And it's a very cute and sweet story with some action, and it has a lot going for it. But it also has some downsides, like the action is a little lacking. There isn't much action to go on. And on top of that, the boss is a little cliche. Just one hit and he's down. But they do have a very cute romance, and it's very sweet. It's a very sweet movie. Goombas in Love gets a 7 out of 10. And now on to Goombas in Love 2. In this movie, I don't know, I might have a little bit more negative to say about Goombas in Love 2. In this movie, it's kind of exactly the same story as the first one. Not much has changed, except now, twist, the guy gets captured. That's pretty cool. I do like the opening shot of the bomb, where no one actually gets killed. That is pretty cute. I liked that. There's still not much action. And there's still not much to the final boss. But I will say, the ending was very, very cute. They finally got back together, and they had 3 children. 3 little baby Goomba children. That was cute, and I really appreciated that. It was a nice ending to their story. It could have been a nice ending to their story, but, I mean, I was left wanting a little more. I mean, Goombas in Love 2, it didn't really give me as much as I wanted. Now, it had a better ending, and it had a better story, but the action and pretty much the story, too, was exactly the same. So, Goombas in Love 2 also gets a 7 out of 10. But, here we go. Goombas in Love 3. This movie defines the Goombas in Love series. It tells the same story, but now the 3 children, a little bit more grown up, have to save the parents from getting kidnapped. It's new. The parents didn't die. The parents didn't need to get reincarnated. And the other ones, the parents had to get reincarnated. First the one, and then the dad, and then the mom. But in this movie, they're captured by Boom Boom again. So I think this is a great retelling of the story. The children now have to save the parents, and they go through some actual action together. It's so cute. I can't even with it. The parents stay in captivity. Like, it's very well made. And at the end, the final scene is so dramatic. They got Boom Boom, but will they hit the on-off switch in time? But they do. They hit it in time, and they save their parents. This one has better action, a better story, and honestly, I love the children, maybe more than the actual parents. They're some of my favorite characters in this entire series. The boss is still generic, sure, but, you know, it's okay. I loved this movie. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Sitting snugly at the number 5 spot on this list is Wiggler Action. This is an incredibly compelling action movie. The stunts that this guy pulls off are top notch. The way he avoids so many obstacles, bombs, chain chomps, and defeats all the enemies. Come on, you cannot help but cheer for him the entire way. Some of these stunts, I'm surprised he didn't need a stunt double for. I mean, just look at some of that. Look at some of those jumps he has to pull off. And the music is top notch. I implore you to go check this out, especially if you like mindless action movies. I will admit, it doesn't have that good of a story, but it's an action movie, so I can't really take off that many points because the action is incredibly compelling. I mean, this is not even the best action movie on this list. There are some really good ones ahead, but sitting at this number 5 spot, I think you'll have a very nice time watching this movie. I'm gonna give Wiggler Action for its amazing music, mild story, but incredible action sequences an 8.5 out of 10. Coming right in, just barely missing the number 3 spot, is Goomba Wars. Goomba Wars is insane, is the only way I can describe it. It is a fun and action-packed movie that is just, it's timeless. I mean, could watch it again and again, and anything could happen. Anything could happen. Characters live and die. I mean, the main character that you've been following for a while, just out of the blue, dies. It's insane. It's insane. There's so much action. The main characters are all amazing, and they modified the weapons good enough for the CGI to make it really look like everyone was dying. And the ending, where he finally gets up and he destroys all of them. Beautifully made. But there is a better one. Goomba Wars 2. Probably the greatest action movie I have ever seen. It improves on everything the first one did right. Everything. The action, the characters, the drama, the not knowing if people will die. Main characters die all the time in Goomba Wars 2, and you never expect it. And I love that. I love it. The action, I mean, there's a new enemy, the Mecha Koopas, and they are so versatile in their attacks. It's insane how anyone could think you could beat them, but they do. They actually beat them. It is some top-notch filmmaking, choreography, script work, screenwriting, everything is golden for this action movie. I cannot describe how fun and exciting and exhilarating this action movie is. You have to go check out both in the series. I give Goomba Wars a 9 out of 10 and Goomba Wars 2 a 9.5 out of 10. Now, Goomba Wars is number 4, but Goomba Wars 2 is number 2 on this list. So, what could be number 3? I'll tell you. Taking the bronze medal, Koopa Comedy. Yes, this is the movie that beat out the first Goomba Wars. Sure, they're both 9 out of 10s, like I previously mentioned, but this one's probably better and deserves the number 3 spot. Is it better than the second? No, but I already talked about that. Here, Koopa Comedy is hysterical. Almost all of the jokes I laughed at. Heck, all of them I laughed at. It's not even an almost. And the action is surprisingly good. Again, not as good as ones like Wiggler Action or Goomba Wars, but that's not what we're talking about. This is a comedy movie. It does not deserve to have this good action, and yet it does. I can't even describe it. I mean, the comedy is the best part. Easily, the comedy is the best part. When the Koopa dies to the fire, and it's like, oh my god, and then he comes back as a skeleton. It's just, and he's just like, hey, it's gold. It is comedy gold. And then the skeleton guy dies, and he comes back as a jumping Koopa with wings, and a whole bunch of Koopas fall from the sky, and they're all like, and it floods the screen. I can't. It's so good. You have to watch it, especially if you have children and you want to watch a nice, funny, action comedy movie with them, or if you're just by yourself and you like a good comedy, please go check it out. This deserves the number 3 spot. But now we have our number 1 pick to get to. You're probably wondering to yourself, Indy, you said so many amazing things about Goomba Wars 1 and 2, and about Koopa Comedy being hilarious, and Goomba Wars 2 being the best action movie you've ever seen. What could possibly top it? I'll tell you what could top it. Endgame. The final movie in the Mushroom Kingdom cinematic universe, produced by Ralphus Studios, just like all of them. It's Endgame. It's more than a movie. It's a masterpiece in film and culture art. It's a work of art. Endgame is the most beautiful movie I have ever seen. It is action-packed. It is fun. It is a thrill ride. And it's got an amazing soundtrack. I mean, just listen to it. You can clearly tell how amazing and how much work was put into this movie. It's mind-boggling. Let me tell you about this movie. This movie starts out with the 5 actors and actresses from voice crack, wow, from the Goombas in Love series. And the dad from Goombas in Love 2 is the main character in this movie. He does such an amazing job. Now, the movie starts out, and all of a sudden, the 3 kids and the mom all die unexpectedly. And it's heartbreaking. It's honestly heartbreaking. Then the dad, it was Bowser who killed them. The dad kills Bowser. And then he goes on this long quest, meeting old friends and new friends, getting them all together. The Wiggler and the Koopa, and he gets them together and avoiding so many obstacles. I mean, the action in this movie, pristine. It's so dramatic. I mean, I care about the characters in Goomba Wars 2, but I can relate. I can feel like these characters live inside me in Endgame. They mean so much more to me. This movie speaks to me. In the end, they all get together, and together they kill Bowser once and for all. And then we see the most beautiful credit scene of all time. And at the end of it all, the dad gets to be with his family, finally, again. It is beautiful. I cannot stress enough how much you have to watch this. You have to watch this. I cannot stress enough. This is a 10 out of 10. No question about it. It's... just go watch it. Seriously. Those were my picks. Going from Titanic to Endgame, those were my picks for the best movies on the list. But what do I think he should do next? What do I think should happen for Mario's next trip to the cinemas? What movies should come out next? Now, I will review whatever movies happens next in due time, but I personally think the next time Mario goes to the cinema, if I could choose what movies would come out next, I think Goomba Wars 3 and Koopa Comedy 2 should both come out. Goomba Wars 3 would have the greatest action, mixing together the Mecha Koopas and maybe a whole new enemy. I don't even know, but the greatest action, the greatest stakes, and it would just be an amazing, insane ride the entire way through. That's what I think should be the third Koopa Wars. It's just, and definitely the Mecha Koopas would come back. They were so good as enemies. And I don't know who else, but it would have to be a big throwaway. And Koopa Comedy or Wiggler Action 2 should come out. But I personally think Goomba Wars is a better action series than Wiggler Action. Now, Wiggler Action is certainly a very fun time, and I would love to see the Wiggler back. Maybe he could be the main character in Goomba Wars 3, or he could have a cameo appearance. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. But I definitely think a sequel to one of your other lesser-known franchises from Ralphus Studios, such as Goomba Wars, or heck, even Nightmares, if you could improve on the story a bit, I would love to see another Nightmares, and I would love to see another Koopa comedy. Now, do I have any ideas for another Koopa comedy? No. But do I think you should have one? Yes. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Ralphus, if you're watching this, I am desperately awaiting Mario Goes to the Cinema 9. I'm hoping to see the finale of Goomba Wars, and maybe a whole other movie, if you have an idea. Thank you so much for watching this. It's been a joy. Go check out all of these movies, every single one of them. Thank you. Good night.